At 2:37 a.m., Eduardo Saverin's phone lit up with an email titled Facebook Board Update. His stomach dropped as he read, "Shares diluted to 0.03%. His best friend, the guy he'd loaned sweatshirts to, the kid he'd given $18,000 to keep their dream alive, had just erased him from his own company. This is law number 2. Never trust friends too much. And in the next 8 minutes, you'll learn how to armor yourself against betrayal."
Mr. Sav.
Sorry?
He's wired in.
Is he?
Yes.
How about now? You still wired in?
Full security.
You issued 24 million new shares of stock.
You were told that if new investors
How
came
much
along...
were your shares diluted? How much were his?
Sign the papers.
You set me up.
You're gonna blame me because you were the business head of the company and you made a bad business deal with your own company?
It's gonna be like I'm not a part of Facebook.
Won't be
Mark
like you're not part of
Zuckerberg
Facebook.
didn't betray Eduardo
name's on the
overnight.
masthead.
He followed the 3-stage friend assassination playbook that's happening right now in startups, law firms, and even YouTube collabs. Stage 1, the credit shift. First, they stop saying "we." At Facebook's first meeting with Peter Thiel, Mark introduced Eduardo as our business guy, not my co-founder. Stage 2, the isolation move. When Eduardo flew to California to work, Mark had already rented a house with no room for him. Stage 3, the legal knife. Eduardo signed paperwork as a formality. Buried on page 17, the clause that killed his ownership.
What was Mr. Zuckerberg's ownership share diluted down to?
It wasn't.
What was Mr. Moskowitz's ownership share diluted down to?
It wasn't.
What was Sean Parker's ownership share diluted down to?
It wasn't.
What was Peter Thiel's ownership share diluted down to?
It wasn't.
And what was your ownership share diluted down to?
0.03%.
Gone are the days of obvious betrayals. Today's traps are invisible until they snap shut. Here's what to watch for in your DMs, relationships, contracts, and even casual coffee chats. The pity pivot. They frame your elimination as sad but necessary, using phrases like, "The investors think you're distracting from our core mission." "The algorithm performs better with a solo face." "For the company's survival, we need to..." But behind the scenes, they're secretly telling VCs, "He's holding us back." Red flag. When they insist they're heartbroken about your demotion. Armor. Demand to join all investor calls. If refused, assume sabotage. The "for your own good" gaslight. They weaponize your emotions. For example, they might say, "You're too attached to this project. Be careful, they may be trying to take it from you." Alternatively, they might say, "Money destroys friendships." This can make you feel guilty about focusing on your finances. They say, "We don't need contracts. We're family." Be wary. They might be planning to betray you. Red flag. Any variation of "you're being paranoid." Armor. Reply, "Then you won't mind signing this one-pager, right?" The ghost transition. The death by 1,000 cuts. You're excluded from casual strategy discussions. Key deliberations shift to other WhatsApp groups where you're not included. Your ideas reappear weeks later, presented as their own brainstorms. Red flag. When keeping things light means keeping you in the dark. Armor. Insist on a centralized comms rule, one platform for all business talks. How to armor yourself. Warren Buffett's 130-beeler empire was built on structured distrust. The principles attributed to Warren Buffett reflect a strategic approach to partnership and decision-making. Here's a brief evaluation of each. The two-key rule. This emphasizes accountability and ensures that no major decisions are made without mutual consent, promoting transparency. The 3 a.m. test. This highlights trust and integrity in partnerships. If you wouldn't feel comfortable examining your partner's actions at any time, it's a sign to reconsider the partnership. The breakup drill. Planning for potential fallout from the start can help mitigate conflicts later, ensuring clarity on asset division. In 2025, Facebook's valuation stands at $1.66 trillion. Eduardo Saverin's shares are estimated to be worth about $35.6 billion, a remarkable sum, yet a fraction of what he might have had if he hadn't been betrayed by Mark Zuckerberg. This reality underscores the profound emotional toll of betrayal, highlighting that even significant wealth can't mend broken trust. Eduardo Saverin learned the hard way. In the game of power, there are no second chances. If this video exposed even one trap you might be walking into, smash that like button right now. Because here's the brutal truth. 64% of viewers who ignore law number 2 will be betrayed within 3 years. Don't be part of that statistic. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because next week's law number 3 will show you how to hide your intentions like Putin hides tanks, and why your coworker is already doing it to you.